Hi guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in to Lifeology. Please remember to like, follow, and eventually subscribe if you're enjoying our content. There's a place where memories are stored. Most scientists and doctors will call it our memory bank. Things are stored in your memory bank. They're stored in your subconscious. There's the id, the super id, the ego. Somewhere in the midst of all of that are the things that we hold dear, things that we fear, the things that we doubt, things that bring about uncertainty. There's love, there's peace, there's hope. I don't call mine a data bank. For me, it's a treasure chest. It's a great big treasure chest full of things that I don't even recollect, because there are things that have happened in my life as a child that I've pushed so far and so deep and piled so many other things in its place on top of it that I don't remember. I really would like to one day go up under a really deep hypnosis. I would love to know about some of those secrets that are held in my mind, because I have a lot of unanswered questions. So today on this episode, I thought that it would be nice to introduce your host. Your hostess. I'm a girl. To introduce your hostess. This podcast is all about you. It's all about life. The things we experience, the things that we go through, pain, love, joy, fear, disappointment, doubt, everything. Business, family, love, everything imaginable. We all go through all of those things. Everybody has experiences. Every waking moment, we're going through something. We're transforming. Whether we see it, whether we believe it, we are transforming. Just think about it. From a fetus, from an embryo, to a fetus, to a full-blown infant. The stages of life before we even become an adult. I don't know, there are a few people out there who haven't become adults yet. And they're old as hell. They just have not become adults. But for most of us, it's a transformation. It is a complete altering of all the layers. Every year that you're on the planet, every year that we're here, we just continue to add layers and layers and layers to who we are. I just want to expose some of my layers. This pod is as much therapy and laughter and joy for me as hopefully it will be for all of you. So who is this voice behind Lifeology? Well, I was born in the third largest city by population in our country. That city would be none other than the Windy City. I hail all the way from Chicago, Illinois. Oh my gosh. That's where I'm from, in my toes. That's where I'm from in my heart. That's where most of my treasures started. That's where my life began. That's where I found love. My parents. Chicago, Illinois. Third largest city in the country by population. So there's a lot of damn people there. A lot of folks running around getting in each other's way. Not the friendliest place to be anymore. I used to love the idea of going home to visit. Of course, both of my parents are deceased. So there's really no one to visit. But my kids, my daughter has been when she was younger. And I am still planning a trip to take my youngest child, my menopause baby. We'll talk about that another day. How being hot in the ass, being hot in the ass after 40 gets you in trouble. Well, or get you a blessing, an amazing blessing. So, wow, my background. Well, just a little bit. I'm adopted. Ooh, that's special. That's very special. My mother, whom I don't have a very high opinion of, and some of you may not like the wording that I use to describe her, but remember, these are my feelings. These are my memories, and I'm entitled to divulge them in any way that I'm comfortable with. We have to get out of the habit of trying to make other people comfortable with our luggage. Who else is going to be comfortable with my shit but me? Or uncomfortable? So it's the way I'm able to dissect, digest, divert how I'm feeling. She had me at a very young age. She was 14. She was fast. She came from a very nice, middle-class family. She had a 2-parent household. And by all accounts, back in the 60s, they were a middle-class family. She was just fast. She didn't do what Grandma said. Keep your dress down and your panties up. No, she kind of flipped that script. So here comes me when she's 14. You know, the parents didn't have a problem with that because mistakes happen. And that was during a time when we held on to our babies. As a family, as a unit, we figured it out. We'll make it work. It's okay. It was okay until it wasn't. It wasn't okay when not even 10 months after me, she was pregnant again. Wow. At that point, my biological grandparents decided she needed to be on her own. She needed to live her own life. She needed a taste of independence and what adulthood felt like. So they put her out, is what I'm told. It's what I'm told. I don't have proof. I don't have clarity. But no one had a reason to lie to me. And I guess she found housing in the projects of Chicago. I do remember that. Even though I was young, I remember. And she turned to the world's oldest profession. Y'all know what that is. Gotta get paid $1 for that cooch. Yeah. She decided she wanted to be a hoe. Yeah, I probably should say she was a lady of the night, or she was a prostitute, or blah, blah. She was a whore. That's what she was. And I don't have a lot of sympathies. I don't. And some may call me two-faced or call it contradictive or, straddling the fence, because I feel that there are situations where I think a woman should probably do whatever she thinks is necessary to take care of her children, to provide for them, to make sure they're fed, to make sure they're clothed, to sustain a roof over their heads. But that bitch didn't do that. It'd be different if she was hoeing and she'd done that. But she didn't take care of her children. The state maintained a roof over our home, over our heads. I remember there not being food. I remember nothing but rice in the cupboards. I remember that. I also remember that by the time she had another child, the system had had enough. The neighbors had had enough. I think I like candles so much today because I do have a memory of being in an apartment that was dark, but there were candles everywhere. And we were by ourselves. Just me, all of 6 or 7, with my 5-year-old brother. Just me and him. I remember climbing on top of the cabinets to get the rice. I also remember the ride that my little brother and I had to take in the paddy wagon to the police department to be handed over to child services. I actually remember that. Those were my last memories of perhaps why I was taken away from my biological mother. I'm not bitter. I'm not even sad. The family that I would become a part of was amazing. The love that Arthur and Y.Mitchell bestowed upon me was irreplaceable. And when I say my parents, my mother and my father, those are my parents. The people that loved me, that protected me, the people that grew me, people that were accountable for this little human, making sure that she had the basics, making sure that she had the tools to move forward in society and do something great. Well, I didn't really succeed at that part so much, but I think they did good. And I believe somewhere amongst the galaxies, they're looking down and they're saying, you know what? It takes her 10 times longer to get shit done than anybody else. She procrastinates. She doesn't always stick to the plan. But you know what, Arthur? I think we did a pretty good job. That's what I imagine them doing. Y.Mitchell and Arthur. I legally became theirs October 10, 1970. I had a new name. I had a new birth certificate. I had a new life. I had a new life. Wouldn't you like to just wake up one morning and make a whole new fucking life for yourself? Oh my gosh. Just get up and wipe all of this shit that's going on right now with you away. Just, like wipe on, wipe off. Clap on, clap off. And boof, voila. You had a whole new existence, a clean slate. An opportunity to do and be anything, anybody. That's what they did. I went from Twyla to Mary. There's more to those names, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But I went from Twyla to Mary. It was a happy home. It was a disciplined home. It was a home full of purpose and intent. It was a home with so many life lessons, most of which I didn't get. Most of which I didn't adhere to. Until later in life, when I realized, oh my God, you mean to say my parents actually knew what the hell they were talking about? Gee, I think that's the crazy reality for most of us once we become a certain age. But it was a good life. I remember when I was in foster care, it's when I first learned about things like loss. It was my first experience with loss. It was also the first stages of control. I wouldn't say I'm a control freak, but I like order. I like a regimen. I don't like scattered energy. Yeah, we get off course. Life throws curveballs. I can deal with that. I don't like when things are disarray. I don't like chaos. I don't like drama. I didn't come from a background like that. My parents were older, so there was peace and it was calm in our home. It wasn't drama. They removed my brother from the foster home that we were in together. According to these damn people, I was not allowing him to listen to our foster parents. They would tell him to do one thing and I'd tell him to do something else. I learned how to be a protector. Yes, that's why I'm so obsessed with my family and friends now. But my name ain't Captain Save a Hoe. That's a story for another time because I had to learn those things 40 years, 30 years later. I am not Captain Save a Hoe. But I wanted to save my brother. I just wanted him to be with me. I didn't want us to be separated. We were all we had. I was all he knew. But they thought it was for the best. So he went his way and I went mine. Yeah. I never looked back. I never tried to find him. I only know what they told me about his case file, but I never tried to find him. I never tried to find my egg donor. That's what I call her. That's what she did. She donated her egg. It worked. She got pregnant. There were three of us. And then there were three. And then there was just me. I never wanted to come on here and talk for such a long time. I know people have podcasts, and oh my goodness, they talk for 45 minutes and an hour. And I'm sure they've got great material and they have something to talk about. They have an audience that listens. Hell, I don't know why I'm tripping, because I listen to other motivational speakers. I'll listen for hours and hours and hours. I'm going to make this a series. This is Treasure Chest, guys, part 1. We'll do a Treasure Chest part 2. And we'll pick up with why I didn't feel the need to look for my biological family. There's a lot in my treasure chest. And I'm glad that I got to a place in my life where I was able to embrace everything that I am, everything that I come from, everything that I represent. And I stand firm and I stand behind everything that I, as an adult, when the parents no longer were in a position to tell me what I could or could not do, and I was able to make decisions on my own to decide what kind of human I wanted to be. What kind of adult do you want to be? I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to heal. I wanted to love. I wanted to accept. And I do all of that. Until next time, guys, thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Lifeology. In the meantime, what's in your treasure chest?